Hi, y'all. Welcome to Hustle Humbly. It's Alyssa and Katie, and we are two top producing realtors in the Baton Rouge market.
We work for two different companies where we should be competitors, but we have chosen community over competition.
The goal of our podcast is to encourage you to find your own way in business.
So stop comparing yourself and start embracing your strengths.
Hello. Hi, Alyssa.
Hello, Katie.
It's episode 69.
Perfect.
And we are doing Don't Jump the Gun.
Yeah.
I will say I have no idea where this is going to go, but you have some stories.
I have some stories, and I feel like there's so many things that happen in real estate that you're like, oh, this is great, this is exciting, and then you like crash.
Yes, true story.
The rocket takes off, and then it spirals down.
Great, I'm going to make a note.
And crashes.
I'm prepared for this.
It's such an emotional roller coaster.
It's such an emotional... we should call this the emotional roller coaster of real estate, but honestly, you're trying to help people not get on the roller coaster.
Yeah, just, stay calm, think rationally. I think that especially if you're new or slow or struggling and you get a good lead.
You're like, I'm going to make this work.
Yeah, and like people are, what is that expression about chickens hatching in a basket?
Don't put all your eggs in the same basket.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch is
Both
what I'm
work.
thinking of.
Okay.
Like you see dollar signs before you're even close to something actually happening.
Right. Yes.
Which I think leads to hasty decisions.
Poor choices, not good management of the client. It leads to Pop-Tart agent syndrome. And then you don't get any money, so the disappointment is like then you've
extra
worked
heavy.
For no reason.
Yes.
And it is extra heavy. Okay.
Right.
I think that you had a gem in there. Don't count your money too soon. I think there is a fine line between treating your business as a business. So I need to know where my income is coming from and how far out it is. But I typically, and I record mine on my weekly overview sheet. Yeah. Like what my coming commissions are. Yeah. I mean, I need to know what my paychecks are. This is not unreasonable to do this, people. I'm not saying you calculate it the day of closing. But I don't ever put it on the sheet until we're through the inspection period.
Sure.
I surely don't put it on the sheet the day I wrote the offer and haven't gotten a response. Right. But I think some people, and I don't even do the math. Like, I don't even know what that check is going to be until I'm nearly through that inspection.
Right.
Some people, I think, are doing the math the moment they see the house, the
moment they get the call,
the moment
lead,
right. Certainly once they write the offer, they're like, look at all the dollars I'm going to be putting in my bank account. And then you really set yourself up for disappointment if it doesn't work out, because then you've put a dollar figure to it.
Yes.
At least if I haven't done that much, I don't realize what money I'm losing. I'm doing my air quotes because I'm not losing money if I never had it. You never had it. Okay.
I think that when you get excited, you're already telling yourself this is a done deal.
Yeah.
And overconfidence can lead to sloppy work.
Yes.
And just major disappointment.
I think that's
it's like
a good
if your
place to focus.
expectations are set properly, then you're calm. You're thinking rationally. You're going through the steps that you're supposed to be going through, even though you want to rush and like skip this and get to the closing table.
Yeah. So. I think that's true. You had a story.
Yeah, this was inspired like the last 2 weeks. I feel like, well, first of all, there's a ton of new agents in the business.
Oh my goodness, they're listening.
So many new agents.
I know, a lot.
A lot of the ones that I have been talking to in our marketplace are people that have exited their corporate jobs due to COVID or needed a different schedule because of homeschooling.
Yeah, that's true.
Things like that. And real estate, just seems to be the fit for a lot of people.
It's an easy fit.
It's an easy fit because it's easy to become in real estate.
Low barrier to entry.
Yes. And as we've talked about before, you don't always realize how hard it is and that you're not just going to make all the money.
Right. We have a whole episode on this.
Yeah. So I have been hearing these stories and it has just reminded me that like when you're that new, it kind of took me back. And enough, like 3 stories this week that have made me go, we need an episode on this because it's happening.
You're like, I want to address this again. Well, I want to also point out, we have a lot of brand new agent listeners and we have a lot of listeners who have not yet gotten their license, who are in process. So I think these are going to be really helpful stories to avoid heartache once you do start.
Yeah, or even the people, like if you've been in it a few years and maybe have been part-time or haven't been doing what you're supposed to be doing and you're just kind of revamping your business right now. I mean, some of the things on the list are things that I fall guilty to.
Sure.
Also.
Yeah.
You know, so, okay, so let's start with story number 1.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so
it's like a case study.
I know. I have a few case studies for us.
Case study number 1.
Case study number 1. A newer agent in my office got his first listing.
Okay.
Fixer-upper. It's like $80,000. Okay. So he tells me he got a contract on it. He's so excited.
I bet.
I'm like, yay, you got your first contract on your first listing.
Big deal.
Well, I saw him 2 weeks later. I'm like, how's that contract going? And he's like, it's not really going very good. They're having financing troubles. And I said, well, what is the lender saying? And he was like, well, I don't really know who the lender is.
Whoa, 2 weeks in.
So this immediately just lets me know that when you got the offer, it did not come with a pre-approval letter.
For sure.
Because you would know who the lender is.
Yeah.
And so I know it seems basic.
Yeah.
But it just reminds me that sometimes you can be so excited to just get an offer.
Yeah.
That you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to call my seller and tell them we have an offer. But not only did you, if you have a pre-approval letter, are you checking it for the right things? Are you email? So every time I get an offer, it's funny because I almost feel like I have gotten to this place of like skepticism.
You're like, I don't believe you.
I don't believe you.
Prove to me this letter is real.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm not wasting my time on this unless you prove it.
It's like, of course, I do get very excited. Like, I'm very happy when I receive an offer, but I also know I need to do some due diligence before I call my seller.
Yes.
I think that sellers are called too soon.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Like, they're just, we got an offer. And then it's like, so this is usually how my conversation goes.
All right,
I get the offer. I immediately email the lender.
Okay.
And kind of just make it a little personal and say whatever the situation is.
Right.
Hi, Mr. Lender. I just listed this house. We've had several appointments and we just got an offer. See attached. I attached the offer so he sees like the contract and who the buyer is. I just wanted, before we take it off the market, I want to make sure that you're confident in getting us to the closing table.
Right.
This email will tell me a few things.
Okay.
How responsive is this lender?
Right.
Are they quick to respond? And I always end it with like a timely response would be appreciated. Since we're
like
under a deadline. Yeah. Thank you so much. I hope to see you at the closing table.
Yeah.
So I don't want to come off as like micromanaging and like I don't trust you. But I also need to know, I need you to know that like I'm going to be following up with you and I'm friendly and I want us to be a team and I want us all to get to the closing table.
Yep.
So I'm hoping that I get a response within like an hour or two. And in the meantime, there may have been questions that I sent back to the agent.
Okay.
Maybe not. It just depends.
Do you call the agent or do you just send these questions via email? What?
Usually I just respond back via email and say, hey, do you mind? Like sometimes, and this is something that people don't look at, but sometimes like the purchase agreement was conventional, 90%.
Yes. And the letter's
But the letter was FHA.
Yeah.
That's a big difference, especially if the house is older or has peeling paint. Like, which loan program is it?
Yeah.
So if I don't get answers to my questions within an hour, I call the seller. Okay, well, to be fair, this is usually my protocol. I type out the terms of the offer.
Yes.
And say, hey guys, we got an offer. The terms are below. Sales price, closing costs, close date, refrigerator to remain. The offer is attached. There are a few things I want to discuss with you. Please call me the moment that you get this. And then I might shoot them a text and say, hey, just sent you an email.
Yes.
Because it's timely. So when they call me, they know what the numbers are.
Yeah.
They know what we're looking at.
Yes.
At that point, I'll say, I just want to let you know I'm waiting to hear back on the loan type, or the lender emailed me back and he feels very confident in getting us to. I just want to have information for them. I want them to know that I have investigated before you just.
Okay, so you're 1 hour in before you send that to the seller?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you're giving the lender an hour to respond to your email.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
But if I feel like I just want to have a little bit of information.
Fair.
Before I call.
Right.
Because I know they're going to have questions. And and like I said, sometimes I'll say I have emailed the lender and I'm waiting to hear back. Just so they know I have done what I need to. There's a few things I want to check on to make sure this is good.
Right.
But, people are so excited to get an offer.
Yes.
That they just don't check on. And all this homework up front can really make a difference.
Yes. And how much time and energy and emotional whatever that you spend dealing with the offer that doesn't work out.
Right. So I just listed a house for $210,000.
Okay.
And great listing. Looks really pretty in the photographs. In person, it is it's not like we were trying to be deceiving with the pictures, but it's just an older house.
Yeah.
So when you walk through,
it needs some love.
Yeah, you can feel the creaks in the floors and things like that. But it was showing like crazy, and this agent called me and was like, "Hey, Alyssa, I just wanted to see if you had any offers on this house. My buyer's really only approved for like $200,000, so I didn't know if I should like waste my time if you're already negotiating several offers since it's only been on the market like a day." I was like, "We have had showings, no offers yet." Then she goes and shows it, and within like 30 minutes, I have a full price $210,000 offer with no closing costs. So I'm like, of course, who wouldn't be excited about that?
Yeah, but I'm like, wait a minute.
I know, but my brain is going, I don't understand.
Right.
Like, first your buyer told you 200 max.
Yeah.
Then you wrote a purchase agreement for 210. Then I emailed the lender a copy of the contract, and like to have no closing costs, especially like none of it made sense.
Yeah.
The lender emailed back immediately and was like, "Yeah, they are pre-approved. They can go up to 210, blah blah blah." So I'm like, in this situation, I did everything I was supposed to.
Yes.
Something still just like didn't feel right.
Okay.
Too easy.
Okay.
So we accept.
Yeah.
No counter.
Why wouldn't you?
We had nothing to counter.
Yeah.
This was on a Sunday. They scheduled their home inspection for Monday at noon.
Wow.
I was like, so quick. This is just
moving.
Wonderful. I get a call at 11:45 the next day, 15 minutes before the home inspection.
Oh my God.
"Hey, Alyssa, my buyer's gotten cold feet. They just want to cancel. They told me to cancel the inspector." Okay. I think I was annoyed because I feel like I knew that. Like, I don't even know your client.
Like something didn't feel right.
Right. Like, did you... And I'm not saying it's her fault. Things happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Things happen. But are you having conversations with your client about what it means to write a contract?
Right. And how serious that is.
Because we have been back on the market for about 2 weeks now.
Oh, no.
And I cannot tell you how many agents I have had email me asking what happened during inspections.
Always.
Why are we back on the market?
Always.
It really hurt our listing.
Yeah.
And I'm having to say they didn't even have a home inspection.
They just got cold feet.
They just got cold feet.
Did you put that in the MLS listing?
I did.
Yeah, might as well.
I have also found that realtors aren't really reading realtor remarks.
Y'all, read the remarks.
Read your realtor remarks before you ask all the questions. Don't jump the gun.
Yeah, all the information is, don't jump the gun. All the information is right there for you.
Yeah.
Read it and try to read between the lines of what those things mean.
Right.
So read them again, read the public remarks, read the realtor remarks, read it all. Get some information from the listing agent. Okay.
I know.
All right. So that's sad.
But I feel like I would have to, if it was me, and maybe she did this, I don't know. But just saying, okay, Mr. Buyer, I understand that you want to do you feel comfortable?
What's making you uncomfortable?
Right. And even writing the offer, okay? So
because it's not like it was a multiple offer situation. No. They weren't forced to write
we were showing really
full
well.
Priced offer. Okay, right. It's very strange.
Yeah, it was all very strange. So I didn't understand how it went.
Right.
And it just made me question.
You wanted to know what else. You wanted to know more.
I just wanted to know if the agent did what she was supposed to, or if the client was the one running the show and was like, "I love this house. This is a cute house. There's a lot of showings. I want to offer full price." And then maybe the lender, after the offer is written, the lender says, "This is your cash needed to close. This is your monthly note."
Right.
So like on that note, on jumping the gun, if a buyer is ready to write an offer, normally you're like, oh my gosh, we're going to write an offer. This is wonderful.
Yeah, it's the whole point.
Yeah, this is the whole point. This is what everything has led up to.
Yeah.
That does not mean it is time to write the offer.
Right.
That means it's time for you as the agent to email the lender and say, hey, lender, so-and-so is ready to make an offer. This is what we're thinking about offering. Can you send me a pre-approval letter so I can submit it with the offer, first of all?
Yeah.
Can you let me know what to expect for closing costs, estimated cash to close, estimated monthly note? Hey, Mr. Buyer, how do you feel about these numbers?
Please look at these numbers.
Please look at these numbers before we write a contract on a home. Yeah. But things like that just aren't happening.
Well, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And if we're talking about new agents or inexperienced agents, yes, it is good to be excited. I don't want to poo-poo the fact that it is exciting times to get an offer or a listing or an offer on your listing. These are all good things. And I think visualizing those things coming to fruition is good. Imagining that contract being good and going to closing is all fine and well and good. Sure. What you're saying is there are due diligence items that need to be done so that you're not on the roller coaster and also that your client is not on the roller coaster. Because what I wrote down was, not only am I not counting my dollars till I pass inspection, and really then I'm still like tentative, I'm like, I know what the number is now, but I'm not expecting it until everyone shows up at closing and signs the paper. But if you're listing, you need to tell your seller, please do not pack up all of your items during the inspection.
Right.
I beg them. I'm like, please get through the appraisal. I don't want you to
Before you pack anything.
I said, look, if you're just so anxious and you need to pack a closet or something,
right,
fine. But I can't have you taking down all of your decor and your paintings and your putting a pot in the driveway. And I'm like,
don't jump the gun.
But you have to steer that ship too. So you can jump the gun yourself and then you put that on your client. Just like you might be excited to write that offer for your first time buyer who said, this is it. The house for $210 is the one.
Yes.
And you don't talk to the lender. And then the lender says, I'm sorry, it really is $200. Like there's nothing they can't go a penny over from their debt to income or whatever.
Yes.
So like, you can't, and then your buyer's disappointed, and now they've been shopping in the wrong price range, and now, I've had a buyer where that happened. Basically, they were shopping in the wrong price range. Their lender they had not really followed up with their lender. Oh, I know what happened. This is a great story.
I'm ready. I want to hear it.
It wasn't their fault, because I'm like, that seems weird, because it was within the last few years. Surely I would have made them shop in the right price range. It was not their fault. There was an agent who had listed a home $50,000 below market to encourage multiple offers and an above list offer.
Okay.
Well, I scheduled a showing. My buyers are like, this house is great. It's perfect.
It's amazing.
Because you imagine my buyers were approved for, let's call it 200.
Okay.
This is a $250,000 house listed for 200.
So all houses are like this, right?
They're like, we don't know what's going on here, but we got to get over there and see this house. And I'm like, I look it up. I look at the history. I'm like, okay, agree.
Yeah.
Like, you got to get here and see this house today. So I make the appointment like a day in advance, at least 12 hours. No call from the agent. No, nothing. We go to the house. Of course, they love it. Guess why? It's $50,000 above their price. They're like, we need to make an offer. I'm like, well, friends, I know that there were other showings because when I went to schedule, there were blocks off on the showing time. I know that. And I see my telltale sign in the hallway where the attic is. There are little pieces of insulation.
People have been in the attic.
Someone has been in the attic. And I want to tell all of you, new, old, whatever you are, experienced, inexperienced, that is my number one detective skill. If there is insulation in the hallway and someone has recently been in the attic, there's an offer coming.
They're interested.
Nobody gets in the attic of a house unless they are serious. So I'm like, okay, y'all, we've got this insulation, all these showings. This price is way low. There's going to be other offers. They're like, we want to make an offer. I'm like, let me contact the agent and see if they already have offers.
That's a great thing to do.
Guess what? When I contacted the agent to see if they already had offers, there were, don't quote me because it's been a couple of years, 4 or 5 offers. Rightfully so again.
Yes.
House price way below. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And he's like, we've already gotten up to, let's just call it 225. And my people were literally approved for 200.
Yeah.
And I had to make the call that said, I am so sorry. This is not how I would run my business. It is a very, in my opinion, inappropriate to use this method, especially when you're talking about your buyer's emotions and the emotions of other agents and wasting my time. It wasn't like I drove around the corner. It was a solid 30 or 40-minute drive to go show this house.
Yeah.
And I will never look at that agent the same way again.
Right.
For sure. And it worked out fine for his seller, which was all that they were worried about. They got over the list price by a lot. I never went back and checked, but I know it was quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so method worked for you, but that's a very looking out for number one operation.
Yeah.
And this is the point of the story. And my buyers took months to recover from seeing that house and being able to go back and shop at 200.
Yeah.
Because you cannot let your buyers. I will also tell you, I recently saw some like social media posts about letting your buyers shop $25,000 to $50,000 high. Mm-hmm. That is a disservice to your clients.
Yeah.
That's not.
Especially, we're not in that market.
You're playing with their emotions. I mean, it's just not, unless you're in some sort of market that's in a decline where you can get a house for $50,000 off a list. That is just setting everyone up for failure.
Yeah.
So it took my clients all like really months until they finally were able to buy a house for like $195 that they were like, this will work.
Yeah.
But
it's not the 250 house.
It's not the 250 house. It's not the 250 house. So,
but I think you did the right thing by calling the agent.
Gotta call. Oh my God. I could have written an offer.
You could have written a whole offer for 205.
But what's the point?
You know, it wouldn't have even been close.
Oh, if I hadn't called the agent, he didn't tell me there were other offers. I could have written in a full price 200 offer and not even known there were multiple offers.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to ask the questions.
And kind of in line with this, like another time that agents really jump the gun maybe too quickly is with showings.
Yeah.
So if someone is like, hey, this house just popped up, you know, before you jump in the car, of course, we're just going to go ahead and assume that you have already made sure they're pre-approved.
Right.
And that you know who their lender is and that they're a real buyer.
Yeah.
But even once they're pre-approved doesn't mean you can just go do that. So checking the flood zone.
Yes.
How many days has it been on the market?
Right.
Texting that agent to see if they have any offers.
Being aware of the financing type.
Yes.
If this is a non-FHA approved condo or townhome and you have an FHA buyer, do not do the showing.
Location, is it what your buyer said that they wanted, or should you email back and say, hey, I'm happy to go at this time. I just wanted to make sure you knew it was 35 minutes away from your work.
Oh, yes.
Is that okay? Or
I sometimes have to email back and be like, yes, this looks like a great house. Just want to remind you or let you know that it backs up to a used car lot.
Sure.
Whatever.
Yes.
Like a giant cell phone tower. I don't know. Like it backs up to a rock band studio. I don't know, like, hey.
Check the surroundings.
Maybe you just, I'm fine showing it to you, but because what I don't want to do is pull up in the driveway and you say, oh, I don't want to get out.
Right, we're here now.
Nope.
And you don't want to go inside.
You got to get out then.
Right.
You got to go in. And I got to give feedback, and we've all wasted everybody's time.
Yep. Hello, friends. We are so excited that so many of you are using the template course, and the reviews are just pouring in, letting us know that it has helped your business as much as it has helped our business.
Yes, listen to this review. Thank you so much for providing this wealth of information, knowledge in template form. So far, I've used a handful and received positive feedback like, this is so professional, or I really appreciate how organized you are. I mean, can you imagine?
Yeah,
your clients are actually going to say that.
Yes.
All right, here's another one. Thank you so much for this. I can't tell you how many times I've started this and how many notebooks of samples and notes I had. I have ADHD and it is super hard to stay focused on getting it done. Having it all in one place is going to make it so nice.
That is what we're here for.
I know. Just look, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Just use these.
Yeah, nice and simple, easy, ready to go, ready for you to put your own logo on, make it sound like you. So head over to hustlehumblypodcast.com.
realtor.com/course and check it out. That's right.
And you're going to enjoy them. You're going to love them.
You're going to
change your life.
Literally fired my assistant. They are the best. Okay,
enjoy the template.
Yes, enjoy.
Okay. Do we have what's case study number 2?
Okay. So case study number 2 is I received an offer. Okay.
Are we studying you?
Yes. Lately we are. Okay. I received a text from an agent, a newer agent, that said, I'm sending you an offer on Main Street.
Okay.
I said, great.
If you people could see the look on Alyssa's face right now, her excitement for an offer is about 0% at this point.
Keep in mind, when I got this text, this person had not gone to see the house yet.
Oh, I'm sending you an offer, no showing?
They were going for a showing.
And then I'm going to send you the offer.
It was like noon. Showing was at 1.
Get ready. I'm having an offer. Get ready.
I'm having an offer for you. Good thing I didn't jump the gun.
And call your seller.
And call my seller. Hey, Mr. Seller.
So exciting.
Or even like screenshotting the text and sending it to the seller to share in the excitement.
No, don't ever do that.
Don't ever do, because now they're going to be excited and you're going to pop their balloon too.
Don't pop their balloon.
So I took it with a grain of salt.
Okay.
And they're like, okay, would your... It was a big cluster. It was just all kind of a mess. But basically, they were like, would they consider a contingency?
Okay.
And I said, possibly.
Okay.
Depends on if their house is pending. Well, we're not sure when it would be on the market. I said, well, you cannot write a contingency contract without some sort of deadline.
Yeah.
And they said, well, what if we did a 30-day close? I said, then it can't be contingent.
Because how will you have time?
Because how will you have time? You need at least
60.
Yeah, at
45.
least 30 days for the house to be on the market, 30 days to close once you get an offer. And you could tell that the wheels were spinning. So she had already written the offer.
Before they went to the showing?
To have it ready.
Okay. Well, I mean, proactive.
Fine, I guess. Wasted her time. But, so, when they're in the house, she tells them, hey, well, when I spoke to the listing agent, she pointed out a good point. We really can't do a contingency if we don't know when your house is going to be listed. Again, all these conversations should have happened before you even look at the house, before you ever text me.
Yes.
Are you educating the client and really making them think about their finances?
Yes.
Okay? So while they're at the showing, while they're at the showing, they're having this conversation. Okay. They hadn't sent me the offer yet. It was just, they had written it to be contingent with like a 30-day close. Okay. I said, I just want, and I knew she was new, so I'm helping. I'm like, okay, I want you to do you see why that's impossible? You would have to get a cash offer on their house in the next 7 days. Yeah. And it may not even be on the market in the next, it's impossible in this situation to do a contingency because you don't have enough information about when they're going to list their home. And so she was like, okay, well, they are approved without selling their home.
Great.
I said, great. Then you would have to remove the contingency because I told her, I said, I would have to, this is how that phone call would go. And I told her this. I said, I would have to call my sellers and say, Mr. Sellers, we have received an offer on your home, but unfortunately we can't accept it.
Right.
Because the terms do not mathematically work out. It is actually impossible. Right. To meet the close date on the contract. Right. When they have no time frame. It would be helpful if, we could counter and say home to be listed within a week. Right. And close date to be a little bit longer. Right. To where I'm fixing the contract that was written. Fixing
I've done that many times.
Yes. But again, so I explained, and she was like, that makes sense. Thank you. And I'm like, okay, great. Go listen to our contingency episode. Right. That just aired. But so then she's in the house. Mm-hmm. Again, she's very excited. She's texting me. They love it. We're going to remove our contingency. All these clapping emojis, hands, blah, blah, blah. Again, I'm sitting over here going, it's not sound like I see the signs because I've been there.
Yes. Well, that's right.
I've recognized. I know. Okay. She sent me a picture.
Oh gosh.
Of it said sent for signatures, meaning I've rewritten the offer. I have sent it to my clients. As soon as I get it back, you're going to have it.
Okay.
So they removed their contingency. Okay. Well, I don't know what happened. Basically, she got a call from her clients and was like, hey, we're just not comfortable. Like, we don't know if we can, like, we know we're approved to remove the contingency, but we don't know what that looks like. And we don't know what our time frame is because of our job. And we don't know if the house will be for sale. And, like, you know, yes, we can do it, but how long? And they haven't planned.
No plan.
No plan at all. And I never received an offer.
Okay.
Never did.
Okay.
A lot of back and forth with this agent texting me. And I would usually just be like, okay. But, and you know what? I never called my seller.
Thank God.
I never called my seller to say,
no,
we're expecting an offer. No, they knew I rode that roller coaster alone.
Thank you.
And I could have certainly jumped the gun and kept them informed and had them on the roller coaster the whole time, only to end in sadness.
Yeah.
I could have been on the roller coaster of, we're getting an offer, and even keeping it to myself. But even I knew better than to get excited because I was hearing what she was saying, even if she wasn't hearing what she was saying.
Yeah.
All of her questions let me know this has not been planned. Yeah. This has not been discussed.
You picked up on all the red flags.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping as a new agent going through that experience, it made me realize, like, this needs to be talked about.
Right. Well, because we all learn it the hard way. I certainly did. I made mistakes. I didn't know how to handle these things. But what we're trying to accomplish here is let's talk about what can happen and how you can avoid it. You don't have to learn the hard way.
No.
You don't. You can listen to this and implement good best practices.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had situations where, like, maybe it's a buyer that I've kind of been chatting with, but we haven't, it's been a while. And then they're like, this house.
Gotta have it.
So the problem is the pretty house and the pretty pictures excites them. They want to jump the gun, schedule a showing.
You have to temper down the excitement.
Yes. At which point I have to say, great, no problem. Have you talked to the lender that I asked you to talk to?
Yeah.
Let's take a step back.
Yes.
And sometimes their response is, I'm actually not ready.
Right.
Like I thought, and that's okay.
I want to be ready.
Right. I want to be ready. And this house made me want to be ready.
Yeah.
But you asking me the real questions
made me realize I
wasn't ready.
Well, right. And you could have just let them guide you and take you on a wild goose chase. And then they would realize they weren't ready during the inspection.
Yes.
15 minutes before.
And that's our job. Yeah. Our job. I'm not saying our job is to be the Debbie Downer.
No.
But real estate is a hefty financial transaction.
Yes.
It does require planning. It does require really understanding your budget.
Yes.
The reason we have so many cancellations and even people that do close and get in financial distress is because they did not actually put pen to paper.
Right.
So I just think that it's our job to be the ones that can control our emotions.
Yes. And remember that it's a long game.
Yes.
So it doesn't bother me when my buyer says, oh, I'm not quite ready. You're right. I need to save up my down payment. It's going to take me 6 more months. I'm like, fine. I'll be here in 6 months. I'll make a note. We'll check in then and we'll see where you're at.
Yeah.
But we're not going to start looking. And you have to be firm and you have to risk losing the client.
Yes.
Because I can't take you on showing 6 months in advance of you having a down payment.
No.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense for you and it makes no sense for me. But some buyers, I'm not going to lie to you, will just go find another agent who doesn't have any, rules in place or isn't going to make them wait. Like, so yes, it can happen. But I think you still have to just go forth with. Most of them appreciate your honesty and just do what you're telling them to do.
They're not upset with me.
No.
It kind of reminds me when I was new and I was interviewing the brokers, and like the second broker I interviewed, I was like so excited. And I was like, I want to sign now. The sky is the limit. I've just been like so inspired.
Right.
And I'm on this high of motivation and like all the money I'm going to make of my future.
Right.
And then I went to the second interviewee, which is where I landed actually. But literally the first question she asked me was like, do you have money in savings? have you thought about how you're going to make this work?
How does it work?
Have you thought about the fact that the first year is a lot of training, but maybe not a lot of income?
Right.
While you're getting started. Like, it made me go,
oh, Thank you
right.
for being
yes.
right. Thank you for giving me the reality.
And this is what I needed. Right. Because it made me realize I need a plan.
Yes. As do your clients.
Yes. And I think that's why I'm successful today.
Because you made a plan.
I made a plan. And I budgeted appropriate and I went through some of the nuisances and pains that come along with getting started.
Yeah.
And my expectations, it wasn't that hard to go through that hard stuff because I was told that's how it would be.
Yeah.
I wasn't told how fun it would be. And
right.
That it's so disappointed.
Get rich quick.
Yeah.
Come, be a realtor. Get rich quick.
Like, I would have been so disappointed.
Yeah.
If
you might have quit.
I might have quit because I would have been like, this is not what you said it would be.
Right, because you wouldn't have known.
Yeah, so it's our job to guide and direct.
Yes, agree. That's a don't jump the gun on choosing your broker.
Right.
It works in so many ways.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have another case study?
Okay, yes.
Okay, wait, I can't wait.
Y'all, I've been busy lately. I don't know about y'all, but okay, so there is a couple that has reached out to me a couple of times over the last couple of years because their neighborhood is doing really well.
Okay.
And they're like, we think we want to sell. And they get really excited. Like, something happens that triggers.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We want to sell. But then when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
They're not really. Well, they face the reality of like, but where would we go? And what would we pay if we left?
Right.
And all that.
Right.
So this house is about 45 minutes away from me.
Okay.
It's not, I do work the area, but it's not like my normal primary area. Okay. So it's been a few years, but they called me and they said, hey, this house in our neighborhood is $500,000.
Okay.
And so we feel like we need to sell now. So like, can you come over? Can you come over Saturday?
Oh, right.
Okay. So first of all, I said, that's exciting. I said, let me check some numbers for you.
Right.
And I have pre-listing homework.
Right.
That I send before the in-person appointment.
Yes.
Me saying, slow your roll.
Right.
I'm not gonna come out there on Saturday.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Right.
So I checked the numbers and the house that they were referring to that sold is in fact active. Has been active for 73 days.
So not sold.
They
would like to sell it for 500.
Yes. Someone is asking.
Somebody wants their house to be worth 500.
So the pre-listing email, if you've bought our templates, has like the property disclosure, the homeowner, all the things I need to know to list your house.
Correct.
Also has the checklist in there of things I want done before I even come in the door.
Yep.
So I sent that email to them along with the CMA summary of their neighborhood where I said, I just want to let you know that while there are 7 houses for sale,
that's the worst time to sell.
And a lot of them are asking this much. The 3 that have sold in the last 9 months only got this much. And they were on the market for 116 days. I just want to make sure that you are aware of these numbers.
This is not a hot neighborhood.
And as soon as you review this checklist and have all this paperwork done, when all of this is done, let me know and I will come over there. It has been 5 weeks.
Did they check back in with you?
She was like, thank you so much. Didn't realize that. That day on market is really high.
Yeah.
I'm going to discuss with my husband. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
So like 2 weeks later, I checked in and she was like, yeah, let's just talk after all the holidays.
Right.
Thank you.
No problem.
But
guess what? I'll still be here.
I'll be here. And they appreciate
They just want the truth.
They want the truth.
Especially sellers.
And do you know who they're going to call when they're really ready to sell?
You.
Me.
You've been very patient.
Yes.
And accommodating and filled with information.
And help set their expectations properly. I'm not going to break their heart. When another agent could have easily said, wow, that's awesome. 500? Sure, I'll be there on Saturday.
Yes, we can list it for 500.
Yeah,
all the houses in the neighborhood are listed for 500.
Yeah, that's what they're for sale for.
Yes.
And then you go and you drive 45 minutes and then you're there for at least an hour, hour and a half.
Yeah.
Then you drive back 45 minutes and guess what? You are not listing that house anytime soon.
No, and if you are, you're going to do over 100 days of work and maybe never get paid.
Yes. And so it just let everybody, they appreciated it.
They want the truth.
Yeah. And I think whenever a client reaches out and says, hey, we're ready, can you come over? And you let them know that you're prepared for this and you actually have a checklist and homework for them.
Right.
That sets the standard that like, this is how this process goes.
And that you're interviewing them.
Yes.
Like they did not meet the requirements to be a seller right now.
Because that first meeting, they're usually wanting you to come just to tell them what to do.
Yep.
And I'm letting you know, I'm telling you what to do without wasting anybody's time.
Yeah.
And then once it's done, I will come and we will walk through together and see if there's any last minute things, but the big work will be done.
Yeah.
How many times have you been waiting on the property disclosure from the seller?
Oh, well, yeah.
Before you can even get it active because they just were so excited to have pretty pictures of their house. But when it comes time to their homework, they're not doing it.
I know. I make them do the homework and have it ready at the pictures if they haven't already done it online.
Yes.
You got to have it then.
And I'll tell them, we'll postpone pictures.
Right. You better get your homework done.
I'm doing my job. If you're not as motivated as I am, then we'll wait.
It won't work.
Right.
They have to do homework.
I'm not going to sit on pictures for a week waiting on you to fill out a 6-page property disclosure.
No.
Just do the work.
No, because you have to pay for the pictures.
Yeah.
Okay. Any others on the don't jump the guns?
I feel like I had one more, but I can't think of it.
Okay. Well, that's all right. I'm trying to think about back to when I was new and like, I really, because I'm a positive person. So I'm trying to find where the balance is between being realistic and being maybe overly pessimistic and being overly there's a fine line. It's a fine line.
And I float it. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't want everyone to be like, oh, this offer is never gonna work out. I mean, sometimes you just have to hope that it's gonna be okay.
Right.
But a lot of don't jump the gun is training your clients. So I think people need to go back to client management episode again.
Yes.
And then just being aware that you don't have to give all the information to the seller right away.
Right.
I cannot tell you how many times I mistakenly said, we're expecting an offer before I was like, I'll never do that again.
Yes.
I will never do that again. Now, when someone says, I'm going to send an offer, I am like, until it is in my inbox and I have read it.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. You're dead to me. Like, you got to get it to me.
I literally had an agent text me that they had already shown my listing. Hey, Alyssa, sending you a cash offer this afternoon on Main Street. Great. Next day. Hey, never got that offer. Yeah, I don't know. I sent it to my client and now they're not responding. Never heard from this guy again. I'm like,
whoa.
But again, you're right. How many times have we?
And then you have to be like, oh, sorry, it didn't work out. Well, why? Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
People are flaky.
I have no idea. I have no idea why.
Right, because then I can't answer for other people's clients. I've never talked to them. I don't know why. They just changed their mind.
I do think it's okay if if something happened like this, even this contingency situation. I did inform my sellers after the fact. Hey guys, I just want to let you know that showing from Sunday, they were actually considering writing an offer. However,
yes, I think that's fine.
Just to let them know that like now that the roller coaster has stopped, and I know that nothing's going to happen, I think I owe it to them to let them know
it existed. Right?
This happened. I handled it. It never came to fruition. I never received an offer.
And then you can frame it.
Yeah.
Good news. Someone really loved the house. They wanted to make the offer, but financially it didn't work out. Like at least
they were crunching numbers.
Yeah, you have the ability to put it into perspective for the seller without getting their hopes up.
And even on our recent episode that we just had about following up with listings.
Yes.
I think it's important to keep your sellers informed of even like, hey, someone called the sign today.
Yeah. Yes.
I asked them these questions. I asked them if they wanted to schedule an appointment. They said no. But I just wanted to let you know that like
things are happening.
Things are happening because otherwise they
think nothing's going on.
Nothing's happening.
And then they ask you to do 100 open houses.
Right.
Because it looks like nothing's happening.
Yeah. So I think it's important to let it ride itself out before you get your sellers too excited.
Yes.
Or
you know what I
like
think
that.
On sellers, my other don't jump the gun is, even if everything works out, y'all have done the discussions, good pre-listing, work, you cannot list the property before they're done getting it ready.
Right.
Please don't jump the gun.
Can't we just list it without pictures?
No, you sure can.
You cannot.
Can't we just list it before we paint this pink bedroom?
No.
Can't. We're gonna do it. Is it okay if we just go ahead and list it now? No. It's not okay. You've got to wait until it's ready. And you got to tell them it's gonna hurt them if they don't.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I had another one too, but it's flew right out of my head.
I've had situations where so like say I have the buyer and I submit a repair request to the listing agent and a lot of times I have forwarded to my sellers. I will be in touch. I always wonder, like, did you talk to them?
Right.
Or did you just like send this over? Because not only do you want to be careful in how you are delivering really exciting news.
Yep.
But are you just delivering repair requests to your clients without any explanation?
Yes.
So the other day I got a repair request and when I opened it, I just closed it. I was like,
no, thank you.
I don't even know what to do yet. And I know we have a little bit of time. I just needed like 30 minutes to
like be in the right headspace.
It was about 19 items on there. Okay.
It's a lot to sift through.
I was having trouble reading it, let alone sending this to my client. Hey guys, here's the repair requests and their report. It took me 45 minutes.
Oh man.
I went through all 19 items. I highlighted them on the report to show my seller. And then I categorized them by HVAC, electrical, plumbing, DIY, things that you could just change that light bulb. You can handle that,
yeah.
I then emailed it to my sellers and said, hey guys, attached you will see the full report with the items they are asking for highlighted. You will also see the formal form where they have put what they want done.
Right.
Below, I have categorized what they want done and typed it by and I have 3 categories where we would have to hire someone. We would have to hire HVAC, plumbing, electrician. There are a few miscellaneous items you could do yourself. We just need before and after pictures as documentation that it's done. I want to remind you that if we agree to everything, they're required to move forward. We have to have receipts for everything. If we agree to some of it, but not all of it, they have 3 days to decide if they're going to move forward or not. I would encourage you to do as much of this as you can.
Right.
Let me know what you think. I said, call me when you get this email. And then I texted them, hey guys, just sent you the buyer's repair request, review, process, call me when you're ready to discuss. I have found I do like sending them the information.
Give them the information.
Whether it's the offer or the repair request with my 2 cents in there.
You've given them
Yeah, like not only like here's the offer and here's what I think.
Right, because you don't want to hear the knee-jerk reaction.
No. And I want them to process that amongst themselves.
Yeah.
Even if it's good.
Yeah.
Even if it's like,
hooray.
Yay.
Oh, wait, that's great. Because the next thing I wrote down was, this is what came back to me. Don't jump the gun on accepting an offer. Not just for the reasons you said before, but you should be contacting everyone else that saw that property before you accept an offer that is anything less than full price.
You have time.
Use
your time.
You have time. Because you know what is the worst? When they get an offer, let's just call it $5,000 off a list price, and the seller's like, great, I'm excited. This is what we were expecting. We will take it. And that's an hour after we got the offer. And then 3 hours later, someone says they're sending in a full price offer. And you're like, oh, I'm sorry. We just accepted an offer. Well, you ought to be going back to everyone that saw that house.
Yes.
Whether they said they liked it or not and saying, hey, Just letting you know we have an offer, going to need, additional offers before whatever, 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And then make your seller wait, no matter how excited they are. Breathe for a minute.
Let them know, hey, we have until noon tomorrow to respond.
Yeah.
I think let's hear back.
Yeah.
See, and I also like to see, like, what if someone schedules a showing for tomorrow morning?
Yes.
Even if they aren't the buyers, if something happens to this contract, that's just one more person that I can follow up with and say, this isn't working out.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I just think it's important that we are not just sending things, especially bad news, because if I would have just sent, I had trouble opening that repair request. When I broke it down for them and said, these really are easy items.
Yeah.
If an electrician's coming to fix one thing, he may as well fix these
It's not going to be that costly.
And actually, once I categorized it, I was like,
oh, this isn't that bad.
This really isn't
what would have been nice?
That bad if the other agent would have done that.
Yep. That would have been so nice. But you did it, and that made a difference.
Yeah.
It might have made the difference between your seller saying, forget it, these people are annoying, they've asked for 19 things, or them just saying, okay, well, we can handle this.
Yeah, and I also responded to the agent and said, look, this is a lot of different random items, 19 things that could be messed up.
Yeah.
Like, even if my sellers agree.
Right.
If 2 of them aren't done.
Right. Yeah.
We are going to have final walkthrough issues. Would your buyers consider allowances?
Yeah,
and he responded and said, these 3 items are the most important that they want done. They would consider an allowance instead of everything else.
Great.
So that just let me know, even if it would have been maybe even saved them a couple $100 to pay to do the work, we're going to avoid final walkthrough issues.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask that agent if his buyers were open to that before just saying, we're not doing any of this. Here's $4,000.
Let's just give an allowance. Right.
Because then they would have been like, no.
Right.
We don't want the house. These things were important to us. And you just said, no, we don't want money.
Well, that just goes back to you have to talk to the other agent. You have to actually work through these problems together.
Yeah. Before you just respond, make sure that the dialogue is open.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Anything else in your don't jump the gun repertoire?
2 little things.
Let's hear it.
Whenever you get like super positive feedback on a listing,
yes,
I'm always hesitant to publish it to my sellers.
Tell me why.
Because then they are like, what about these people? What about these people?
Right, they love the house. They loved it.
They love the house. They said they were very interested. They said they might be sending us an offer. But it's like,
yeah.
So my thoughts on that is 2-part. If you were the agent leaving feedback, even if you know that your client, the showing went really well, they could go home and have dinner and get cold feet, and you've just left feedback that they're very interested and that they love the house and that you're going to send an offer. Don't do that to people.
Oh, no.
Don't do that to people.
No.
And then as the listing agent, if you receive that feedback, if maybe even before you publish it, just give your sellers a heads up. Hey, I just want to let you know they did leave feedback that they're very interested.
Yep.
I haven't received anything yet, and I think that they're crunching numbers.
Right.
You know, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
If this, I'll follow up on it.
Right.
But
positive, but not guaranteed.
Positive, but not guaranteed. I'm just trying to make sure that you understand the reality of the situation.
Because nothing in real estate is guaranteed.
Right.
Nothing.
Last one, which this is really like my first year to ever have like more than one larger sale price. Because I just don't do a lot of the luxury stuff.
Yeah.
I did 3 this year. And it was my first year to do that. And it was funny because every time I got a big listing, other agents were like, oh my gosh, are you so excited?
Right. I'm like,
they were counting their chickens before they were counting my chickens before they were hatching.
I'm like, I'm more nervous on this than any of the others.
And I'm like, have you looked at days on market for luxury
it could be
listings?
3 years from now.
I could sell that. And not only that, but do you realize how the day on market is so long, the time and communication and long-term relationship you're about to have? Like, yes, it's great to be excited, but I think you need to realize you're going to have to do more than one Facebook post.
You're probably going to earn a lot of those dollars.
Yeah. So it's like, don't jump the gun on even taking the listing.
I know.
It's okay to say, unless you do these things, I may not be the right agent for you.
Yep.
And you really need to, in everything that we have talked about today, I think it's so important to trust your gut. Mm-hmm. Do what you can, follow up with lenders, keep expectations low.
Yep.
Remind your clients where we are in the process. Yep. Are we in the fragile time? Are we out of the fragile time?
Right.
Monitor.
Do they even know what the fragile time is?
Do they even know? Or how are you or are they just like, Alyssa's excited, so I'm excited.
Right.
So I've been hearing with all the newness out there, it's very easy to get excited. And I just wanted to be the voice of reason.
I like it.
To help people be excited. And look.
Cautiously optimistic.
And on closing day, celebrate.
Yeah, big excitement.
Big excitement. Everything is done.
Yep.
That is the time to just really, but I tell people all the time, don't thank me yet.
Yeah.
We are not there yet.
Oh, no, I've had to temper down buyers and sellers and be like, you have literally no idea what could happen before a closing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. And I'm telling you, until there are all the parties at the table and the signatures are had, we're not counting any chickens.
I know. I've had a seller that's like, hey, can I move out this weekend? And I'm like, I can't tell you that. I can tell you that we are past inspections.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that we are waiting on the appraisal. But until it's done, it's never
not done.
Yeah. So they want you to give them good news, but they also need the truth.
They need to know what all the possibilities are.
Yes.
So that they can prepare mentally and logistically and emotionally, all of that stuff.
That's our job.
That's our job. Okay. Are you ready for a toast?
I am.
Awesome. Today's toast comes to us from Sina Taylor. And Sina wants to toast her manager, Julie Downham from Berkshire Hathaway, Indiana Realty.
Indiana. That's cool.
She is amazing, and our office refers to her as our momager because she is.
Oh my gosh.
You have a momager.
That's so cute.
Because she is always so supportive, helpful, and inspiring. She may be short, but she is mighty in our office. Julie celebrates our wins, listens to us cry over hard deals, helps us problem solve, and makes sure we are balancing life and work. Julie has been in the real estate business for 30 plus years and has truly influenced the careers of not only me, but many, many agents.
Wow.
Wasn't that good?
She sounds wonderful.
I know. Julie sounds amazing. She sounds like a spitfire.
Yeah.
I love it.
A momager.
She's taking care of them.
Well, cheers to them.
Yes. Cheers to Julie, and thank you, Sina. And y'all have an awesome day.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Hustle Humbly podcast. Let us know who we should toast to for the next episode.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Hustle Humbly Podcast. If you have an episode, topic, or question, please email us at hustlehumblypodcast@gmail.com.
Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. See you next week. Bye.
This is the good life.